Ohayou gozaimasu.
Good morning.
Another hot day. Still, it's been relentless, hasn't it? It must be
Yes.
about 2 months now.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning and we are already on 35.8 degrees in the workshop with the doors open, with the windows open and the cooler on.
So it's only going to get worse, basically.
It's going to get worse, yeah. It's going to get hot today.
Yeah. I think you're a little bit more used to this oven than I am.
I still can't get used to it. The intense heat is melting my brain. It's slowing down work. I never thought that this would be so much of a problem, but when you're doing body work, it definitely is a problem. Yeah,
You're saying about cutting things and...
Yeah, just simple things like just cutting and welding, the heat that's generated. It's even when using my angle grinder, I could feel the heat of the angle grinder more than usual, just because the temperature of the workshop's hotter. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. I've even noticed it. Obviously, I'm not doing that stuff, but with my phone, the battery just runs out. I mean, it is an iPhone, but what was it yesterday? It was already, the battery was gone almost halfway through the day.
Yeah.
And I think it's just literally the heat.
I mean,
Hi, Stephen.
Even yesterday, I was using my phone. We were wandering around Takasaki City, and I had my sat-nav on, and my phone decided it was too hot, and it switched to night mode. I don't know how switching my phone to night mode with the sat-nav actually makes it cooler, but it did the trick.
It's just all the things that when we lived in the UK we didn't think about with the heat, did we? Because it did get hot, but it never lasted this long.
It's just been insane.
Yeah.
I mean, how's the weather where you guys are? I hope you were surviving.
RC says hello from New York State. Cheers.
New York State.
Oh, his name's Ray.
Cheers.
Also, there's other things. We went to another festival yesterday, and they were doing lots of performances, and you could sit on the stairs. But honestly, the ground was so hot.
Yeah, you could fry an egg on the tarmac.
Yeah, we couldn't. We couldn't let our daughter sit down on the ground, could we? It was just so hot.
It was way too hot. I mean, people in Japan are even saying that recently this hot weather is a little bit rare. It's not really been this hot for a while, and even they're struggling.
But they're also saying it's not going to get better, is it? It's probably global warming.
Yeah, it's probably something to do with the environment, and well, we're just going to have to get used to it. We're going to have to work around it. We're going to have to evolve and make things maybe a little bit easier in the future to work on cars in Japan. But at the moment, it is extremely difficult.
Stu's here. Hello from, is it Illinois? Illinois. How do you pronounce
Illinois?
This word?
Yeah.
USA. We are having a cool down finally, he says.
Oh, but we've had some hot weather.
You know, one of the best feelings I've had in Japan is when I'm outside and I walk into a supermarket.
Oh, yeah,
that first hit of cold air.
It's the strangest thing. Yeah, you go from coming from really hot, and you step into a convenience store or supermarket, and you're hit with a wall of ice cold air, and then your body gets used to it, and then you go back outside, and it's this wall of heat. It's just
it must be
mad.
so hard for the body to keep adjusting.
Yeah, and then yesterday I was even watching a postman on a scooter. And I was thinking, this guy, he's some kind of robot. I mean, it's seriously hot outside. He's on the scooter. He's got all his gear on there. And long sleeves. He's delivering the mail. And what we were hoping is that they get regular breaks, wasn't it? We were so worried about these guys. I mean, heat stroke is a very serious thing in Japan. It's extremely common. But I don't know. It's as if they don't stop. This heat has not stopped anyone in Japan. Even the old people in the rice paddies are still out there. And
they're tough, aren't they?
They are very tough. Yeah.
Also, it was the first time, and maybe you're going to add a video of this on your next video. It was the first time that I've seen an ice machine. You know, where they just put blocks of ice into... It was in the back of a truck, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is really crazy. We went to a festival. It's extremely hot. It's in an open place. And in Japan, they do put, in some places, some hoses, some water hoses between like lampposts and things like that with tiny little perforations in there which spray a nice cool mist of water over people.
Oh, your mum's here.
Oh, hi mum.
Hi.
And then also something that I've never seen before was the fire brigade had come out and they'd attached hoses to the fire hydrant. Well, the fire hydrants are actually in the ground under the drain covers, so they're in the middle of the road, and they've got these whopping great hose pipes, and they are spraying the road and the crowd and the kids, and they're doing this all the way along the road. But not only that, there's a massive truck, and on the back he's got all this equipment, and there's a guy standing on the top with a great big hose pipe, and he's spraying ice over the crowd. It comes out like snow and chunks of ice, and there's a guy in the back, and I assume that he's just pushing these large chunks of ice into the back of this machine to shred it all up, and they must have some kind of massive compressor or blower in there to just blow it across the audience, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, and from far away we actually thought it was foam, didn't you?
I did. It looked like a foam party circa Ibiza 1999.
Yeah, so we said to our daughter, let's go and play in the foam.
Totally.
And then when we got there, we got covered in ice, didn't we? But she was loving it.
Yeah, she was loving it, but everything was covered in ice, and it was strange because it's over 40 degrees and you're soaking wet, covered in ice. It's the weirdest thing.
The moment it touches your skin, you almost shake, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, but they really did do everything they could to cool everyone down. So they had, well, God knows how much water they used that day. But the festival ran over a period of 2 days, and I'm not sure what they did the day before, but I guess it was something very similar.
Yeah, we went in the evening, didn't we, on Saturday? So it was a little bit cooler.
A little bit cooler in the evening, but it was still, humid and sticky. It's if you've ever experienced a Japanese summer, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's not very comfortable, but there's something about the heat, the music, the lights, the fireworks, the smell of the street food. It just comes together as one unique package. And if you haven't experienced that, I'd certainly, tell people to experience it at least once in your life. It is something completely different. It's my favorite.
It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, you absolutely love
every time we go on to a festival, I feel like I'm on holiday just for the day. But I enjoy it so much. So we've been going to so many, and next week we've got our local one. So if anyone is in Japan, it's Fujioka one next week. Anyway, so do you want to give a bit of an update with the bed bug? Oh my God, sheets are still stuck in my back.
Update on the bed bug. Well, it is actually coming together. We're getting some work done. I finally managed to address that gaping hole that was in the back, and we got the engine out as well. We had an issue with the rear valance. Obviously, this vehicle didn't really have a rear valance. In fact, it didn't really have a rear panel or a tailgate. But now that's all sorted. We now have a rear valance, and also we have a removable valance just behind the engine here, so it makes the engine easy to take in and out just by removing this panel as well, which is fantastic. And of course, we've got the engine out over there. We did find a couple of little horror stories with the engine regarding the clutch, and there was a lot of disconnected.
Where's that?
A lot of disconnected wiring as well, so I'm not entirely sure. We might have some electrical issues, but hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Where's that little nest that you found?
Oh yeah, I did find a weird nest on the side of the gearbox. It's just over here actually. Maybe one of you guys that are into insects or from America maybe be able to tell us, what is this? It looks like it's got some kind of creature that's inside there. It's made of sand or mud, series of holes there. It's obviously somebody's old home, and I suspect this has come all the way from America, and it's not from Japan, but yeah, very crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was someone's home, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was someone's home. I haven't made them homeless. I haven't opened it up. I don't know if there's anyone in there. I think they're long gone, to be honest. I think they've evacuated. Maybe bedbug was a little bit too unhygienic for them to live in.
That might have been the right name for it after all.
Yeah, bedbug has got bugs. No surprise there.
Stu said in the US we call them mud dauber nest. Oh, so it might be from the USA.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so we've got maybe some genuine American parts here. Oh, that's great.
That is a dirt dauber's nest. We need to Google that so
I
we can
certainly
see.
need to do. So what, are they kind of like a larvae that they build a nest and then they pop out as flies or some other kind of creature? I mean, was it a beetle?
Oh, he said they're wasp-like insects. That's interesting.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, that
Okay,
is
get rid of
interesting.
it.
Yeah, I'm actually quite scared now, and I shouldn't be touching this.
You were actually saying about how they have to be careful when they import cars, don't they? Because you don't know
Yes.
what's kind of stuck inside there.
Yeah, I've heard of all sorts of stories with cars being imported into different countries, and they're also importing the insects and other bits and pieces with the car. And I'm guessing that they kind of fumigate them or do something with them. They must do. But I did hear a story at a garage that I used to work at, and they had a load of cars that got imported, and they thought that they found a black widow spider, which is extremely dangerous. And it turns out to be what they called a fake black widow. They did actually have to call someone out to collect these spiders.
Just a look-alike.
Just a look-alike, yeah. But you can't be too sure. I mean, something like this, it could be very dangerous if a bug has made it across the world and you don't know about it. It's given you a nip. Yeah, I mean, it's things that you just don't even think about. And even when you get an old car and it's been infested with insects and rats and mice and all sorts inside, the actual air inside the vehicle can be very dangerous because of, you know, all the excrement and bits and pieces. So it's just full of dangers
So
repairing
you need
cars.
to really wear a mask when you're kind of taking it apart.
It's almost as if when you're working on a car, you constantly need to be wearing a mask. I mean, you should do anyway, but sometimes it really isn't practical. It's very difficult to wear a mask all the time. But I do know a car cleaning guy, a valeter in the UK, and he's been valeting cars for absolute ages, and he doesn't have very strong lungs, and he actually has a 3M mask, and it's battery powered, and it's filtered air that he breathes when he's using the chemicals, because obviously they can be very bad for you as well. And it is a good idea if you have, you know, access to those kind of things. There's nothing wrong with having too much safety gear. But yeah, even wearing a mask in this heat is just insane. It's almost impractical. But I do try and wear a mask when I can.
Yeah, Brad says, hey from South Georgia, just a dirt dober, they are harmless.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, so they don't, maybe they don't sting.
Maybe they don't sting. I mean, it's amazing though. You guys know so much about these. You probably see them all the time, but it's not something that I see at all. I mean, we've seen some crazy insects over here, but now I've got the issue of having imported cars. I don't know which crazy insects are American or Japanese.
Yeah. Just as you were saying about some people asking that these lives are scheduled, and we've said it a few times, but it's a little bit difficult because we've got a 3-year-old, and quite a lot of the time the nursery calls, or sometimes she's not right on the day, so it's just a little bit difficult to schedule them. But I think maybe next week we'll try.
Yeah, we would like to have a slot for these lives. I mean, we love doing them. We get to speak to you guys when we're making these videos and we're putting them out. Although you guys are always commenting, and it's great because of your comments have actually produced this car and helped with ideas, and it's kind of evolved. But we just don't really get to, you know, it's not quick enough. It's not like an instant response like you get with a live, and it feels great that you can actually, what do they call it, engage with your audience, if that's the right term.
So maybe from next week. We do normally do these on a Tuesday because Monday is a bit of a recovery from the weekend, but you're going to the dentist tomorrow for the first time.
I'm a bit worried about that.
Yeah. So Annette Scott, I finally caught a live video. Hello from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, excellent.
And Raquel Bala, hello from St. George, Utah. Wow, there's lots of people from America.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what time it is over there. I mean, in the UK, I suspect everyone is asleep, but...
Apart from your mum.
Yeah, my mum's away. She's a night owl. This channel, when we started this channel, I had no idea how big it would grow as far as how many people across the world are watching it. And, you know, I love America and I love everything American, and the fact that people that are American are watching a car that's from America that's being built in Japan by an English guy is just insane. I mean, that's a completely weird and wonderful YouTube channel in itself. But I'd never even thought about how global it would get.
Yeah.
Where we'd be looking at the comments where people are actually tuning in from, it's just vast. It is worldwide, and it's just great, isn't it? We love modern technology when it works.
John Robb says, hello from Huntington, Arkansas. Is that in America as well? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look, so I thought people would be asleep in America. Have I got it wrong? Is the time?
America has different time zones as well, doesn't it? It's so
I
big.
thought
It has
that
time
New
zones.
York is about, I thought it was 17 hours behind.
I'd have to Google it.
Yeah.
I'd have to Google what time it is. I mean, these guys could be night owls.
Oh, 8:15 in New York.
Oh, really?
Oh, so that's perfect.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, so this time works out quite well.
So we're talking 8:15, obviously, a.m. So
PM.
8:15 p.m. Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know if they're getting ready for bed or they're actually, digging into their bowl of cornflakes. So.
John Robb says it's 7:15 here. It's 9:15 over here. So we just dropped off the little one, and she's quite tired from the weekend, but hopefully she'll last the day at nursery.
Yeah. I mean, we are absolutely wiped out this heat, and we spent the weekend out at this festival, and when you're there, you don't feel tired, but afterwards, your energy levels. I mean, today I'm worn out. I mean, it's not going to stop me working, but I am actually really tired from just the festival experience. There's a lot to take in.
So there's a few people saying the time, but basically I think it's kind of around evening time in the USA. I know it's really late in the UK, but so it actually might work out well because a lot of your followers are from
a lot of people
USA.
are tuning in from America, and it's great, isn't it? Really, if we can do this kind of time slot, and that'd be really good. But we're kind of working on it, aren't we? When to actually schedule these things. I mean, at the moment, the mornings kind of work a little bit easier for us. So maybe that's the way we're going to have to do it.
It's the coolest time, but it's still hot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the coolest time of the day, but I am absolutely sweating. But I do need to get these boxes. We've had loads and loads of boxes turned up. As you know, we're going to get into the bodywork side of bedbug pretty soon. And the customer has just ordered loads of things. I've tried to crack the boxes open so I kind of know what's in there. And what's really cool with Japanese products from these paint shops is they still go old school. They are actually wrapping all their products up with Japanese newspaper, and I've not seen this. Normally you get some kind of corrugated stuff or some plastic bubble wrap, but I think that's great. I think that's really old school and cool.
So Annette says, I love your bedbug videos.
Oh, that's fantastic. Great.
Annette, I'm assuming that you're a lady. How did you get into cars? Because I just can't get into them. But yeah, I'd love to know how you got into cars. John Robb, love the bedbug, awesome work. And Stu says, the beetle I'm restoring had several doorbell nests in it. Yuck.
Oh.
Were there any live creatures in there?
No.
Or was it like one of these? So what are the products that you've got now?
Right, so I'm actually unpacking 2 boxes of Primer Surfacer Multi-Hardener. The title was so long that they've had to go around the side of the can, which is quite funny. But it is actually written in English, and this is just the hardener that I need for the rock primer that I will be eventually putting onto the car. But it's really good to try and get these things ahead of time, because you don't want that situation where you're ready to prime the car and you can't get hold of the product. So these have been ordered a little bit, and in anticipation for the next bit of work. What's in this one? Oh, and of course I have ordered a little bit more filler, because for the same reason, I don't want to get halfway through the job and then realise that I'm totally out of filler, as this filler here is not available at your regular shop. It's a trade kind of filler, so it has to be ordered. So I have to allow you know, at least 3 days to get these products in. If it was like when I started the Mirror project, it was the case of just nipping down the car shop and buying smaller quantities. But Bedbug, as you know, isn't very straight, so she demands larger tubs of filler, although most of it will be sanded and it'll end up on the floor. But it's best to have a little bit too much, and it's the same with the primer as well. If you overorder on the primer, then you're not going to run out. And if you have a little bit left over, then so be it. You can use it on the next job.
Yeah, Annette, sorry, Stu says smaller than that one, so I think he had a smaller one than this weird thing here. Annette says, I grew up in the 60s looking at American muscle cars from the back seat of my mother's car. I fell in love with cars. Oh!
Awesome!
Awesome. Probably her interest in cars started quite early on.
Yeah. I love that story.
Yeah,
I love muscle cars.
Yeah.
I mean, that is awesome. I mean, until, when was it, last week? I think, was it last week you did a short and you didn't know what a muscle car was?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
It's a car that goes to the gym.
It basically is a car that goes to the gym. I mean, normally we're talking big gas guzzling, high-powered V8 engines, muscle cars, and yeah, normally very early stuff, probably 60s, 70s kind. That to me is a muscle car, but they have produced some extremely fast, you know, revamped versions of these cars, Mustangs, Camaros, and things like that, which is kind of muscle cars for the next generation.
So RC says most people who owned air-cooled Volkswagens are very nostalgic about them, even those who aren't necessarily car people.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. There is something to be said about the whole air-cooled. You know, it's been going for such a long time, and you got to remember that some of these people, I mean, when I was working on them in the UK, there would be a family that owned a Beetle, but that, you know, was owned by their young son, but then it was owned by, you know, his parents, but it actually belonged to, you know, the father's dad, their granddad, and they all had names as well, which is really weird. A lot of cars don't have names, but I found that a lot of Volkswagens do have names. They've named them, and those names have stuck as well.
Asiatic says, what I want to see is a V6 racing engine.
You want to see a V6 racing engine? Or?
That's what he said here.
Yeah, V6.
I mean, I'm assuming it's a man. Annette says, my dream car is a 1968 Mustang Coupe with a stroked out 302 V8 engine. Wow, that is
specific.
Wow, you know your stuff.
You know your stuff. Oh, and we all have our dream cars, don't we? I mean, at some point, I would really like to own a big American yank tank. I did get close. I did once buy a project. It was a Chevy pickup. It was a big thing. Was it Silverado, Blazer? I can't even remember the details. I think it was a 6.2 V8 diesel, naturally aspirated. It was a monster. It was jacked up with the big wheels, but the engine was dead. It had tyres that were so expensive that I couldn't replace them. I did start doing a lot of the work, but unfortunately that just got put to one side, mainly for my love of motorbikes, and I couldn't fund that project. But I would like to in the future, you know, get hold of an American car. And interestingly enough, we have found oodles of American cars just on our journeys about. They do have a big following. We even went to an American car show last year, didn't we?
They've got another one this year.
Yeah, and if we go to, I think it was called Fujiwaka Classics. I did make a tiny little video on it. It's not in any of the playlists, but you can find it, you know, on the Mezudashi YouTube page. If you're interested in that, and it just follows the Japanese love of American car culture. It's very strong here.
Asiatic says they make bored out aluminium V6 that produce 800 HP.
Woohoo! There's something about this, the noise of a V6 as well. It's weird because a friend of mine once had a V6 Volkswagen Passat, and with a straight through stainless exhaust, it sounded like a Lamborghini. It was the strangest thing, the way it revved, the noise. Yeah, I do get where you're coming from. And also being a V6, it's lighter than a V8, and with that incredible amount of horsepower, whatever you put that engine in, it's going to shift. That would be really cool.
And John Robb says the air-cooled VWs are just cool, simple cars that go and go.
Yeah, they do. They are just one of those cars that just hit the spot for so many people. It worked just so well, and the way it was engineered was totally revolutionary. Although it was extremely basic, nowadays it sometimes isn't as easy to repair. If you were talking about a brand new Volkswagen back in the day and you had access to all the parts and everything was on the shelf, but nowadays it seems it's quite difficult because you're battling with things like rust or severe rot. You're having to do a lot of work. You're dealing with aftermarket parts, aftermarket panels as well. So although the love of these kind of cars still exists, the kind of person that can afford one has now kind of gone up a level. I think trying to do a Volkswagen on a very, very low budget is very difficult now.
I've just noticed that you're not sweating.
I am actually sweating.
Are you? Am I just dripping?
Yeah, it's mainly on my back.
Oh, that comment about cars that go and go. Do you remember my teacher's wife? She had a Toyota Yaris and she really wanted to get a new car, and she was just waiting for it to break, and it just would not break. And she was just getting so angry and frustrated because she didn't want to buy a new car unless her car broke down. And for years it just kept going, and she was just getting so annoyed with it.
Some cars just do that, don't they? They just keep on rattling on forever. And I think on the last live we spoke briefly about your old Kia Picanto with no fluids and no maintenance, just kept on chugging on and on and on. And there's just those cars that sometimes they're just amazingly engineered.
Yeah.
They're just over-engineered and maybe underpowered, and therefore they don't wear. I don't know, but yeah, some cars just absolutely shock you. They just keep on going on and on and on. And yeah, I guess you want to get rid of it, but you can't. I once had a Mark 1 Golf. It was a 1600 GTI. It had something crazy like 250,000 miles on the clock, but the clock had burnt out years ago. And although I did have to kick in the fuse box to get the fuel pump relay to work, the thing always used to start. It used to blow a little bit of oil, a little bit of blue smoke, but it just kept on going on and on and on. And it didn't die. I actually had to disassemble it and sell it for parts because I had another Mark 1 Golf at the time. But the crazy thing is, I reckon that car would have still been going now. It just refused to give up. Just kept on rattling on.
Racket Bella says, I grew up watching my dad restore Volkswagen Beetles. At one time, there was an all broken down Volkswagen track at his shop. It looked a lot like bedbug. Oh, that's nice.
Wow. Could it have been bedbug?
This was the late 80s, early 90s. And then Annette Scott says, my first car was a Datsun B210. I fell in love with it. I didn't know how to drive a manual. I purchased it and learned to drive. I learned afterwards.
Yeah, that's the way to do it sometimes, is you're forced to learn that way, or you're forced to do something to...
I think if you love something, you would just do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I did something similar. I had, my first car I had was a bit of a hand-me-down, but I had that before I had a license. Just so I had it there on the driveway, and I didn't have a license, but I knew that if I passed my driving test, I'd be able to drive a car. And the same thing happened when I did something called a CBT, which is basic training for a motorcycle in the UK, which allowed me to ride up to a 125cc motorcycle. But what I really wanted was a big bike. So from a 125, I went out and bought a GSXR 600, which was a sports bike, which was ridiculously fast compared to the little dirt bike I had. And then I had to pass my license because I had this bike sat there and I really wanted to ride it. But I did pass, and I got to ride the big bike. But yeah, it's crazy. It makes you want to pass your test.
So Stu says, yes, here in the States, years ago, Beetles were everywhere. Plenty of parts. to be had for low prices. Now
Yeah.
it's very rare to find any Beetle part yards.
That's right. Yeah, they're the big junkyards full of Volkswagen Beetles are drying up now. I mean, I know people are finding things, but the people that are finding things, they know their value. Back in the day when you had scrapyards, junkyards, you could go in there and it'd be a very small amount of money for, you know, the bits and pieces to keep your car alive. But now those cars have become cult cars, and some of the parts that are on there are very rare, and the people can decide how expensive they are. And generally, parts nowadays aren't cheap, are they?
So Racket Bala says, it wasn't bedbug. I remember it being slightly different shaped at that time. I thought it was made by Volkswagen, not a custom.
Do you know what? That would have been fantastic if we found bedbug, but back in the day, I mean, I know absolutely nothing about this car. I did get sent some photos ages ago. The customer sent me some photos and pretty much said, what do you think of this? And it was, they were taken in America, of a very ropey, out of focus pickup truck. And to be honest, the pictures look better than the car when it arrived in Japan. When I did have a look at it in Japan in the yard, I was kind of like, yeah, this is a bit too far gone. But yeah, so I did see pictures of it in America, and it would be really great to even get hold of the original builder or somebody that knew anything about this truck. I mean, it's very unique in the way that it's shaped, so somebody's got to recognise it, surely.
Asiatic says, my stepsister just got rid of a bunch of brand new VW parts. My sister's dad owned a VW franchise.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That is
isn't
very
it?
interesting. Yeah, I mean, there is still stories like this, kind of, you know, they do appear. There are like old VW shops that have these parts squirreled away. I've even heard of containers of parts being found. There's a company in the UK that found quite a few containers worth of parts. A lot of it was late stuff, but you know, things like the window scrapers for door surrounds, and they had new old stock, you know, batches of them. They had hundreds of them, which was amazing. But to find a container full of Volkswagen parts, I mean, they were on it. But this stuff happens. There are shops out there still with some really cool new old stock stuff.
And that's in downtown LA.
Wow, okay. So it's not, in my head, I kind of think that it would be in the sticks somewhere, somebody squirreling them away. But wow, okay, that's great. That's really cool.
Chris Ellis says, I'm working on Patches, the 75 Super Beetle.
Patches, yeah, I remember that, yeah. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
Is that a real car name, or is that a name given, like bedbug?
It's a name given, yeah.
Oh, is it?
It's a
That's
name
cute.
given,
I like
yeah.
that. Sounds like a dog with lots of patches of black on it or something to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit like, I guess that if this wasn't called bedbug, it would certainly have a name like Patches. But some cars are built like that. You've got to be realistic. I mean, we all love open checkbook restorations where you don't have to do these little nutty repairs, as I call them, where you can actually just buy a whole new panel and install large panels. It does get the job done quick, but it's insanely expensive doing a nut and bolt restoration using large panels. And sometimes you just can't justify it. Bedbug is a little bit of fun. The idea is just tidy it up, get it looking shiny, and get it moving, and that's exactly what we're doing. It's not getting any more than it needs.
But it has got all these nice extra bits.
It has a lot
hasn't
of nice extra bits that are nice touches that you can add as you go along, because it'd be very difficult to add those kind of bits like the rear vents or the semaphore indicators or the crotch coolers after it's been painted. So it's a great chance to kind of get a little bit artistic and kind of make something that you really want at the same time.
John Robb says, I've seen several Beetle trucks, most were poorly done and did not match the Beetle curves. Bedbug's bed matches very well. It looks well built.
It does and it doesn't. It's pretty close. I think that, personally, I think the rear arches need to be changed a bit, but then in the same breath, if I change the rear arches to Beetle style arches, I'll only be making a replica of the previous Beetle trucks that have already been done. So having this rear end on Bedbug is unique in itself, and I doubt there's going to be another one out there if you went to a show, especially in Japan. There won't be another Bedbug like this.
Annette Scott says, you're doing a wonderful job with Bedbug, and she's giving you It looks like a gold medal, but it could be bronze.
Or it could be it's probably a bronze medal. I don't deserve a gold medal yet.
No, you do. Bedbug, Asiatic says, Bedbug is a very nice car, mate. RC says, I have seen quite a few Beetle truck conversations at car shows, but none of them had anything as unique as a bed from an international truck.
Yeah.
Bedbug is truly unique.
Oh wow, what kind words. You were really pushing the boat out on this one, aren't we?
But I think this is
And,
what's keeping you motivated.
Yeah, I like weird cars. I do like custom cars. I like strange cars. I like unique stuff. I like unique cars. I like to, you know, this customer's going to have something that nobody else has got, and that makes me feel happy.
It's funny because
it's weird.
I like the most common car, don't I?
Yeah, I mean, some people like going with the flow, and there's nothing wrong with that. If somebody told me to go get a ordinary car, there is no problem with that. But sometimes you want something that's unique and something that somebody hasn't got. But the thing is, when you're building one of these cars, one thing that, if you're doing this for yourself, you've got to remember that you are building it for yourself. You're not doing it to please other people. So their opinions, you know, they may say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's their taste. So what you need to remember is you're building it for yourself. You're the person that's going to drive it, and you're the one that needs to be happy. So if you want to go crazy and add some modifications and customs that are your taste, you just go and do that. You know, life's too short to worry about what other people think. And
it's strange, actually, and you talking about that, it's kind of a little bit like our reaction, some of the reactions we got when we told people that we wanted to come out here. And we did think, you know, life is short, we're in our 40s, how long, you know, the time that we've got to try this. Not that you can't do it in your 50s and 60s and stuff, but I think where we have a kid, we wanted to try before she started mainstream school, didn't we? Just in case it went wrong.
This was basically make or break. I mean, of course, if you want to try moving to another country and starting afresh, I mean, yeah, if you're young and you're mature enough, then that's absolutely fine. Or if you're thinking of moving to another country and kind of retiring and spending the rest of your days there, there's no problem with that. But when you have a small family, you've got to kind of think in a different way. You kind of think, this is it. If I don't do it right now and integrate my family into this environment from a young age, then it could be more difficult, as education is pretty important, as we all know, and it does go on for quite a while. And by that time, we may not be able to, you know, we may not have that opportunity. So that was it. It was kind of...
it was weird because some people weren't supportive at all, and then you got people who were against it, but they supported us, which sounds a little bit weird because we needed a lot of help with documents and stuff, didn't we, to move over here. Yeah. And then you got people saying, it's going to be fine, go for it, you know, it's going to be great. So in terms of just talking about the car and, you know, doing things for yourself, and, you know, sometimes you do have to think of yourself and you have to take risks and not worry about what other people think all the time.
I think that's totally right. A lot of people, they go through life and they're worried about what other people think. But then at the end of the day, if it's your life, then, you know, don't worry too much about what other people think. Just do what makes you happy. And it could be anything. I mean, just using car stuff as an example, that's what, you know, that's what makes me tick. I do like messing around with cars and motorcycles or anything that's a little bit unique. But yeah, everyone has their thing, and I think that, you know, their passion and their goals, and I think that you've got to be careful not to be too swayed about other people's opinions.
I don't think we were always like this though, because we both stayed in our job for, I think I was in my job for, it must have been 12 or 13 years,
yeah,
and
I was
were
pretty
in
much
there for
the
longer.
Same. Yeah, I tend to get comfortable and stay in a secure place. That's just the kind of person
And then it just kind of completely flipped and you moved country house, job.
Yeah, then it went a complete 360 and I just kind of and then we moved to Japan.
So Annette Scott says it's a gold trophy. Thank you, Annette.
Oh, thank you, a gold one. Oh, that's fantastic. That's the first gold trophy I've ever had, so I will cherish that. Thank you very much.
So we got Chris says your last bug turned out really nice.
Yeah, the 67, although it's not finished, and I do think about it a lot because in my mind I don't really have a huge amount to do on it. But the end goal for that car to start with was just turn it from that blue, pink, white mess of a ball of rust into a single colour and make sure it's super solid and super clean, which I have done. So now what I can do is slowly start collecting the parts, and when I get a pile of parts, I will then hopefully spend a little bit of time back on the 67, and let's see if we can move that project a little bit further, because the 67 is my personal project. I don't know what the future holds for it. We were actually toying with the idea of selling it and freeing up some finances just so we can produce another car, but we're not sure yet. We'll see how that one comes out. Obviously, I still have that problem with the engine being in parts stripped with no history, and I don't know which way to go with that yet. But yeah, that's going to be an exciting project to get back onto it. But at the moment, bedbug seems to be rolling, so we're going to roll with it and carry on with the bedbug. I'll just show you these products that I've just taken out these boxes. I've got oodles and oodles of hardener, and I've also got this primer. This primer here, Climax, made by a company called Rock. This was actually the same stuff that we used on the 67. It's pretty good. It's a high build primer in grey, and I've got this hardener here which you mix with it. It's mixed 5 to 1, so 5 parts primer, 1 part hardener, and then you need a thinners as well, but you have to order the correct thinners. So I've got a lot of thinners here, and I do use this thinners for other stuff. So over-ordering yet again on the thinners is great. You don't want to have loads of little 5-litre cans. So a big 16-litre can of thinners, and we've got 4 primers. I don't know what size these are. Well, they're done in kilograms in Japan. In the UK, they're done in litres. So normally something like that you'd order a 4 to 5 litre can of primer. So 4 should be enough. As well as that, we do have the other primer that we're using, which is the non-chrome, which is the non-chromium primer for bare metal. So we're going to have a couple of layers going on. We're going to have layers of filler and special bare metal primer, and also a top coat of the filler primer on the top as well. So yeah, all good. We've got the products to carry on with this, so that's great. And as I said, a couple of cans of filler, because you can never have too much filler on bedbug.
And Raquel Bala says, have you tried adding fiberglass resin to your plastic filler? It gives you much more working time in the heat.
Do you know, I've heard of this before. Yeah, I've heard of people doing this kind of thing, and I've not really had the experience with it.
Would you give it a go or not? Or
yeah, I mean, yeah, you can.
What you know.
You can use the resin. I mean, I actually have some. I've actually got some fiberglass resin, and I do like fiberglass and I do like filler, and I've always used them independently, and fiberglass resins. I've never actually done them together, but I have heard of people, mixing these products together and producing, something that's more is better for the job. I mean, adding some kind of resin or fiberglass to your filler is only going to make it stronger, and it's probably going to help it flex as well. So
Chevy's 5-speed gives us a wave. Chris Ellis says, I do fiberglass filler on the welds.
Yes, yes.
RC says, you have to keep the 67. It's stunning. No.
Oh, this is going to be debatable. As for fiberglass on the weld, yep, that's definitely what I do. When I've got a welded area, I clean it up. I normally put some treatment on there. I've got some special primers which have like a zinc in them. I've also got the non-chromium primer, which is good for bare metal, and it also stops the rust coming through. So something like that first, just to base it up, key it up, and then I put a bit of fiberglass over the top of those welded areas and knock it back, and then I can treat it with body filler. I do feel like just putting something over those welded areas first, it just makes me feel a bit happy that there's a bit more protection there. Yeah, and as for the 67, well, there we go, just drew the line. I wouldn't mind keeping it a bit longer, but
we talked about this before, didn't we? About the price of the house was three times more than we budgeted. So it has left us in a bit of a.
So we've got a little bit of a financial hole. So maybe we will have to get rid of the 67 sooner rather than later. But we'll get it done first, and obviously we've got to show it off, and then it can go. But yeah, it will be. It's quite a special bug to us because it is the first full-on body off restoration.
Yeah, but you said that one was special as well.
Yeah, then the mirror is also special, being the first one. Okay, so every car that rolls through the door here is special.
Are you going to be able to give your big bedbug back?
Yeah, am I going to give bed bug back to the customer? Well, that's debatable as well. If I fall in love with it, I might not be able to give it back to him.
Chris Ellis says Ellis Car Customs mixes them.
Oh, so the mix is, yeah. I mean, it's something I need to try.
Yeah.
I'll do a little bit more research and then I'll go for it.
I think because you have said quite a few times that because of the heat it's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, interestingly enough, with the fillers in Japan, I don't know if it's the fillers that changed, but they have a summer pack and a winter pack. And I know primers, they do that. They used to have like summer and winter activators on the old school 2-pack paints, which is just changing the hardener. And I do wonder if they're actually changing the hardener or they're actually changing the product itself. I didn't really do much research into it. I've got so much hardener that I didn't need to order anymore. And I have been using a smaller quantity of it. That's why I've just bought the filler itself and no hardener. But yeah, I think maybe next year we're going to have to really start looking into different ways of using these materials that it's going to be easier and less time consuming, because it's if you do a filler mix and you get the hardener ratio wrong, obviously it's going to flash off and go off on your mixing board before you've even got anywhere near the car, and it will look like cement and it'll be very difficult to sand off. So yeah, I still need to kind of look into that, because as I said before, this type of heat is something that I've not really experienced before and not
It's
really experienced
horrible.
working in it.
Yeah, Chris says he's never tried it.
I mean, the thing is, if it doesn't work, and you're providing you realise that it doesn't work before you put your primer and your paint on there, I can't see a problem.
Is it something you can experiment with and then just take off if it doesn't work?
That's what I mean. Yeah,
is it
yeah.
stuck on there?
No. The thing is, with filler, you can remove it. If, for instance, I was going to try something like that, I'd try it on a small area. I'd see how it goes off. I'll see how easy it is to sand. If you find that it's not curing, or you have some soft spots in there and you've got some problems, just whip it all out with a wire wheel on a grinder. Just get rid of it all, make sure it's all gone, and then just start again with a different product. I did have a similar experience when we used, believe it or not, a English filler company, of all companies, that didn't work for me. I mixed it to the correct ratios.
Was that over here?
That was over here.
Oh.
And when we were doing a repair on the 67, I went out and bought an emergency can of filler and mixed it up accordingly, whacked it on there, and the although it felt like it had gone off, it was soft on the inside. So what I ended up doing was, it was never going to cure. I just ripped it all out and started again. Even if it did cure, and I put my filler over the top and my paints. Sometimes when you have these kind of problems, or even paint reactions, the paint and the filler can shift. It's almost as if it stays sticky and it's not quite dry. And when you do that, you end up with loads of cracks and imperfections, and it can all just fall out and go wrong. So best not to have that problem and just take it all out and start again. And that's what I had to do. Yeah.
Okay, so we're nearly finished. So if there's any last minute questions. Chris Ellis, the metal burnishing tool takes it back off fast.
Yeah.
John Robb says, mixing a bit of extra resin with the normal amount of hardener increases working time, and as a bonus makes it creamier and easier to spread thinner.
Nice. Yeah, that's really good tip.
It sounds like what you need, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really good tip. I've got actually I've got a couple. Yeah, I've got a couple of products I could try. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to try something like that.
And Racket Balla says, just thoroughly mix it. Use about 1 to 10 fiberglass resin to plastic filler. It spreads great and sounds great.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
so this is the nice thing about doing these lives, isn't it?
I love these kind of things. I mean,
Yeah.
all these tips, and yeah, I just find it amazing that the guys that watch this, guys and girls that watch these kind of things on YouTube, and they comment and they have all these ideas. I think a lot of people, they don't listen to them. They kind of, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I love tips. I love trying things out. I love experimenting, as you guys know. And yeah,
Are you going to give it a go?
Yeah, there's absolutely tons of tips I've received. There's even a really great tip about using, various chemicals and acids to stop flash rusting, and I've got whole piles of them, and I really want to try all of them, but we just have to see how we get on. but there's no harm in trying. If it doesn't work, then just move on. But
Yeah.
tips are great like this. This is how I'm learning every day, is from you guys, so that's awesome.
Annette Scott says, what colour is bedbug going to be?
So the word on the street is
At the moment.
bedbug at the moment, and it is subject to change, as with all things. Bedbug is black, and I'm not a great fan of black paint. I love the way black paint looks. But if you guys have ever painted a car that's extremely bad condition and you want to get it back black, it has to be super straight, insanely straight as a die. Otherwise, all that paintwork, it just won't pop. It will be wibbly wobbly, and all the rest of it, all the imperfections will show. So it being black would be a very difficult colour for us to paint in a dusty workshop, and also it means that I need to make sure 100% that I'm happy with the bodywork before I paint it, and the easiest colour would be white. That's it.
Racket Balance says, I have 30 years of experience in the collision repair industry.
Excellent.
I've had no problems adding resin, no extra hardener required.
Wow, there you go. Proof is in the pudding. It works. It's so. How come this product isn't marketed as a,
Especially in Japan.
you know, somewhere like Japan? They love these kind of things. You can buy all different types of flavors of everything. So how come somebody hasn't kind of? And why aren't you guys marketing it? You know, marketing this product, or is it a secret? You're not supposed to know.
Chris Ellis says, I do mix extra resin with my fiberglass. So all the people that are doing this, is it because of the heat, do you think?
Well, if you want to, if they're mixing extra resin and it's prolonging the, it's making it not flash off, not harden as quick, then it gives you a lot more working time, which means that you have a lot more time to get things looking a lot better before it goes off. I mean, that's fab if that's the case, because that could really work. And I just think that using something like a resin could also help it be a lot stronger once it's gone off as well.
John Robb says, a nice two-tone white and blue.
Oh, that would look cool. Yeah, that would look cool. Even two-tone looks cool. I mean, it's one of those cars that could certainly pull it off. A Beetle can pull off a two-tone paint job, so why can't a Bedbug?
Is that half and half?
Half and half, yeah. So normally separated with a, you know, we're normally separated with a trim on a Beetle. I don't have any trim, but there's no reason why you can't add some kind of line down it. But yeah, two-tone, like a sandwich. But that would look cool.
Chris says it makes it easier to work with. Yeah, I think that was answering my question.
Yeah, easier to work with sounds good to me. Yeah, definitely.
And just on another note, we're quite close to getting our cookie up.
Yeah, we mentioned a long time ago, we did find a store, and it's quite far away. It sells the most amazing cookies. Yes, I like food. I like cookies and the rest of it, and they're amazing. And what we said is we're going to go back to that cookie store and we're going to treat ourselves to a couple of cookies. And it seems very small and insignificant, but it's when we hit 3,000 subscribers and we're so close to getting our cookie that it's exciting, isn't it?
And
it's
I think
so small, but it's kind of like something we've been looking forward to. And we're thinking, yeah, we're gonna get our cookie soon.
And yeah, last time we went there, most of them were sold out, so we didn't really have a choice, did we?
Yeah,
but you know me and what I'm gonna do.
We're going to camp outside and get there super
no,
early.
I'm just going to get the same one because that's what I always do.
Get the same cookie and then we know you're going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to obviously try something else and see what else is out there, but yeah.
Makusu says, in the States it's called honey. You add it to the bonds to make it more spreadable.
This is amazing. Do you know what, in the UK I've not heard of this. I've heard of this tip, but I've not heard of it coming from somebody in the UK. So could this be an American kind of tip, or something that's just not used in Europe? I mean, I don't know where these guys are, watching from, but that could be just something that's, a little secret across the water.
RC says, what is the meaning of mezurashi?
Mezurashi is a Japanese word, and it means rare. It is rare or unique. It's kind of that's
I
that's
say
what
it when
is.
you cook, don't I?
Yeah, when I cook, that's
I say mezurashi. I say that to Arjun.
yeah. It's rare when I cook, but that is it. Mezurashi was, we needed a title for it, for the channel, and as I mentioned before, I do like unique and rare things, and that's where the title came from. It's the Japanese word for rare. Yeah.
Yeah, and unusual, yeah.
And unusual, yeah. And originally we put it was Mezurashi Life in Japan, and the Life in Japan was going to document our lives in Japan and how we got here and what we're doing. But as I was doing more stuff, as we got the workshop and I was doing more car stuff, we seem to have come, more focused on the car stuff. And what I've been doing recently, if you've been watching the videos, is at the end of the videos, I've been trying to add a tiny bit of Japanese culture. Obviously, you don't have to watch it, but if you're interested, knock yourself out. You might find it interesting.
Yeah, and in summer there's so much going on. In winter it's not really as basically people stay indoors because it's so cold. But
that's right. Yeah.
There's so much going on.
But in the summer there's always something going on. I mean, in the future, ideally it would be nice to have 2 channels. I can't physically stretch myself like that, but if there was a designated car channel and then there's a designated Our Life in Japan channel, all about moving to Japan, the life, the culture, buying a house, buying a car, and just covering all that stuff that you guys need to know and what you do when you're in Japan, I think that would be quite good. It's not something that we can do at the moment, but in the future that would be fantastic to have, 2 channels under one Mezurashi umbrella. That would be really cool.
And John Rod says that's the perfect name for your work. Raquel Bala says, I think your channel will grow. I really look forward to watching your episodes. That's sweet.
Oh, that is sweet, yeah. I mean, we're still a very small, YouTube channel. And it's one of those things that I've watched other people's videos. I know what it's about. And I know how they try and make things very exciting and, maybe dramatic. And maybe my videos aren't. But the thing is, it is totally realistic what we are doing here. You are watching me work, and although the clips are sped up, any problems I have, any nightmares, I have no secrets. I will show you guys, and this is what it was about, is producing a channel that was as realistic as possible. I watched a program the other day. It was an internet streaming program.
Oh yeah, about the food?
No, this is something else.
Different.
It was I was watching a car program. It was in America, and they were trying to get this car done, and they had a whole group of guys on there, and they're all spattering away, getting this thing apart, repairing it, welding it, and then suddenly it was painted, and I was like, whoa, what happened there? There was
in the middle?
There was almost like a whole month's worth of work that had been cut out. And so what I assumed is they went cut and they took the car over to the body shop, got a whole team of people, bodywork it, prep it, paint it, and then it's come back in for the refit. But I didn't want to do anything like that. I wanted you guys to see the whole transformation, although it is very painstaking and it's very slow. But if you're doing this for yourself or you just have an interest, it could, be something that something that you want to do, and it could give you a little bit of tips. And then I'm getting tips off you guys as well along the way, which I can add to these builds, so they can only get better. But yeah, keeping it realistic was one of the main things, wasn't it?
Yeah, Annette says he cooks too. He's definitely a keeper.
I cook rarely. I do like cooking though. It is mezurashi when I cook, but I do actually like cooking.
Yeah, I think you're really, he's very much into presentation. I'm more like throwing it on the plate and just, let's eat type thing.
It's got to look nice as well, hasn't it? Your food's got to look nice. You don't want one that's been thrown on a plate on a spatula like 10 foot away like this.
It's always a rush, isn't it?
It is always a rush, but I do find that, just having pretty food is a bonus. So, maybe
whenever you cook, on the rare occasion.
On the rare occasion.
Yeah, it always looks good. I know mine always.
Yeah, but does it taste good? Does it taste good because it looks good? Is it kind of one of those things?
It might be. Actually, I think you add more flavour just because I'm still very anti-salt because of for our little one.
Yeah.
But it's nice when you cook because then it's kind of a treat because we get a bit more, you know, you use soy sauce and things like that, whereas
Yeah,
I cut all that out. So yeah, it is a nice treat, but yeah, I'm usually looking after the little one while I'm cooking. So it is usually really quick and just flung on the plate.
Yeah.
And then I usually look after her while you cook, so you have a bit more time to
That's right. Yeah.
make it look nice. John says, please keep it real, forget the drama.
Yeah, do you know what? I need to. Yeah,
Do you know, we
really,
can't even have drama here because everyone's so nice. There's not anything really.
With the whole Japan life drama, it's not as dramatic as you think. And as for doing work on cars, I know that there's videos out there. They're like, oh God, what am I going to do? The customer's turning up in 10 minutes. I've still got the engine out, and I'm not going to do that. We
did have a bit of a moment trying to get the car in here, though, didn't we?
We did have a moment.
We had to push it in.
We're pushing bedbug, off a low loader, and it's ran out of petrol. We're on a steep hill, trying to get it up a steep inclination into the workshop with both of us. And that's about as dramatic as it gets. We're not going to start swearing and pulling our hair out and trying to make it sound super dramatic. If I did that and I started swearing and just going, and this is not going to work, and just going off on one like that, you guys are going to be seriously put off working on your car if I told you, that it's impossible. I mean, that would put people off working on cars. And the whole idea of doing stuff like this is to get people more involved in it.
But we were lucky that our daughter wasn't at home when that happened with the car, because we would have had to strap her in the buggy and then push the car in.
Yeah, we'd have to put her in the baby buggy to one side while, mummy and daddy struggle trying to push a car into the workshop.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the most challenging things about coming here is, first of all, finding your premises.
Yeah.
Secondly, registering as being self-employed.
That's right, yeah.
I think thirdly, one of the harder things as well is when you've moved from one country to another, you don't know how much people who do your type of work charge, and also there's, the difference in minimum wage between the countries, and it's hard to figure out exactly how to go about charging and things like that. And it's just all a lot of adjustment.
It is. It's very difficult. The thing is, the way you got to look at it. If I was in the UK and you're charging a certain amount of money to do a job, well, you've got to realise that the cost of living is more expensive. The minimum wage is a lot more. And obviously, if you're a skilled mechanic, you get paid a little bit more. If you go to another country, maybe your qualifications won't be the same, but also the minimum wage is a lot lower. The cost of living is a lot lower. So basically, to live the same lifestyle between the countries, you need to kind of balance it out and be realistic.
Yeah, we kind of asked for advice, didn't we, from your customer, which sounds a little bit strange, but he's got a car business, so...
Yeah, the customer the customer we're dealing with, Old Car Market, he is seriously nice and he is honest as the day is long. And the problem we had is when you get hit with a project like bedbug, as I said, it's not an open checkbook restoration. When you have a car that's a total heap, it's covered in filler, and you can see that there's rot bleeding out. I mean, how much would it cost to fix that car? Well, you don't have x-ray glasses, you don't know, you need to rip it, strip it down and see what you're left with. Because even with bedbug, there was a load of horror stories, but I already knew that there would be. I just didn't know how many there would be. And repairing it in the way that I've been doing in little bite-sized chunks. As I said, normally I'd be the one to just rip out large sections and replace it instead of just doing a localized repair. But I had no idea how much it was going to cost. I mean, at the moment we're doing okay, but I've got to be really careful with the next stage, the bodywork and the painting and the engine, the wiring and things like that. I've got to be very careful because if I take too long doing those bits, we could end up kind of just breaking even, and I don't want that to happen. I want us to make some money at the end of this so we can start investing into the YouTube channel, and also so we can invest in the workshop, because at the moment we are still on the very bare minimum tools that you need to fix a car.
Or do you just want to keep your cars?
Well, to be honest, I would like to make a little bit of money so go on holiday. That would be nice as well.
I think it's been, 5 years since I've been away?
It may sound crazy that I want to go on a holiday because you guys think that I'm on permanent holiday. you know,
A lot of people say that,
you know,
don't
you've
they?
moved to the other side of the world, but what the okay, you have this kind of holiday moment at the beginning, and then it's impending doom because you need to find a place to live, and you need to settle down. Your money's slowly going downhill. You know, it's this kind of scary moment. So we spent a lot of time researching
Yeah, the first
and
6
looking.
months was really stressful.
It was
wasn't
very
it?
stressful. Yeah, so we're not living that permanent holiday, and sometimes it's good to just switch off, shut the workshop door, let your hair down, come back, and then just, you know, crack on, you know. And I think that's what we probably need after bedbug.
Yeah, I think so. Annette says he's an artist. It must be pleasing to the eyes.
An artist.
Yeah, you are with the car and the food.
Oh no! Oh right, okay. So maybe I should become a car chef.
Or you can cook some eggs on the back of the...
I can cook some eggs on the back of this bedbug, definitely. Yeah, later on today.
RC says, what I enjoy best about your videos is the fact that you don't let problems bother you. You figure out what needs to be done and just do it, no drama.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
you
That's
are
nice.
generally a very patient person, aren't you?
Yeah, I've had to learn to be patient.
Is that anything to do with our little one?
Yeah. Having kids makes you very patient. Yeah, I had a strange situation years and years ago when I started working for a very busy garage, restoring things like bedbug, custom work and things like that, where I'd be in the workshop and the customer would want something crazy done. For example, they've got a camper van that they want to turn into a cocktail bar. So they say that they want a flap that opens here, they want the roof to elevate the other way, they want a bar to drop down, they want special hinges, this, that and the other, and they want the whole interior done in stainless, etc. As well as that, the car's rotten and it needs to be painted. So I've got 1,000,001 headaches and having problems that I've never faced before. And the boss would come in, tell me what I need to do, and then I would say, well, I don't know where to start, I don't know what I'm doing. And his words of advice were, you can do it, Duffy Moon. And then he'd walk out the workshop. And then there's me totally stumped thinking, well, I've got to start somewhere, get the angle grinder out, start measuring, start cutting. And luckily for me, that kind of mentality of thinking to yourself that nobody else is going to do it for you has actually got me this far on finishing every single project.
So you had a lot of faith in you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really happy he had a lot of faith in me. But I think that when you start on this kind of stuff, it's scary. It's scary picking up an angle grinder and cutting up, you know,
I can imagine.
cutting up things and transforming them. Because in your head, you're thinking that if it fails, well, don't worry about it. If it fails, then do it again. Fix it. Sort it out.
But I think maybe...
Go back. Just step away from it. Maybe come back to it a later date. But you will get your head around it and you will fix it.
But you're also the person who used to fix all the beeps, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I did spend I've spent a lot of my time fixing other people's fixes. So you kind of get used to doing that as well. But it's always about learning. I mean, if you're fixing somebody else's fixes, they're learning. But I prefer that they fix it themselves so they'd actually really learn.
Yeah.
But it is all about making mistakes. But if you don't start something, then you won't know if you can actually do it. So you have to kind of have that faith in yourself to pick up that angle grinder, start cutting and welding, and just see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only nuts and bolts. That's what they say.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Annette says, I find it absolutely amazing the high quality of your work you do with the limited number of tools.
So the workmanship I'm doing it does have a limit to what I can achieve with what I've got, which is not a lot. But it does give you an idea what you guys can achieve at home if you've got yourself not even a gas MIG welder. You've got yourself a gasless welder with very limited off-the-shelf tools and things like that. You can do it, and you can get a reasonably good job. And obviously, in a fully equipped workshop, when you have the correct tools, all the tools to bend panels and cut them, and decent welding tools, different types of welding tools, you're going to get a better job. But it comes at a price, and at the moment, what we've spent on tools is a fraction of the price of a lot of these shops. So,
and what you need as well.
Yeah, I've just basically got what we need to do, the bare minimum, to create a good job. So let's see how how this turns out, and hopefully other people will get involved as well and think, do you know what, I can do that repair myself.
So Chris says it's only metal. And then Donald says, I see you pulled the engine in the last episode. Who is going to do the engine work?
Right, so the engine work, the engine is a runner. I have no idea if it even has compression or anything like that, because when we started the engine, it did run briefly before it ran out of fuel. And I've been told that the engine is pretty good. So what I might do, I mean, I did check for end flow, which is, you know, okay. What I might do is just change the clutch, maybe just do the bare minimum, maybe just do the valves and compression test it, see if it's a good egg to start with. If it does seem like it's going to work, then I don't feel the need that I need to rebuild it. If I had to strip it, rebuild it, things like line boring and machining, I do not have the tools. And to be honest, I don't know who has at the moment. So yet again, I'll just cross that bridge. If the engine works, it runs sweet, then we'll just tidy it up and we'll put it back in. And originally, I don't think that engine was going to be fitted. I thought he was going to go for a early engine, but
he wasn't too sure, was he?
He wasn't sure. I mean, we even thought about toying with the idea with something like a Type 4 engine, Type 3 engine, nice and flat, to give more bed area in the back, and also more power. But the thing is, a bed bug, it just keeps changing. So we'll see. I mean, if I can reuse the engine that's there and get this working and out the door, and then he can use it and then decide, it's not going to be a big drama just to take the engine out and switch it out. So that's I don't kind of sweat the small things at this stage.
Okay, so should we end it there? 'Cause I need a drink.
Yeah, you need a drink. I need to get on with some work. I'm standing here drinking coffee, talking to you guys, and I've absolutely loved it.
Just one more question. Is car wrapping and peel away paint popular in Japan? How do you feel about it?
I've not personally got involved in you know, vinyl wrapping at all. I think it's epic. I think the way that you can get a normal looking car and you can print out what looks to be a giant sticker and you can stick it on and just transform the car with keeping the original paint underneath. And I think it's great. And I have seen there's a obviously you've got the boy racer culture that do like a lot of vinyl and they do like wrapping, but there's also a anime culture, and they tend to modify their little Japanese K cars, which are up to 660cc, tiny little cars, and they cover them with their favorite anime stickers, and this is a wrap, and they're normally done very loud, lots of bright colors. So that part of it is very good. Peel away, the peel away paint, I have actually seen it in a aerosol can at the local shop. I've not actually had any experience with this kind of thing, but it does look pretty good. I mean, it looks quite clever. I think you could get really arty with it, especially how you can
very neat,
cut sections out and peel them off and leave sections. I really like that. Yeah, really like vinyl stuff. I've not really had much. I have had experience of removing a section of, I think I was doing a repair on a late, I think it was a T5 transport van, whatever. And I removed a bit of the vinyl that was on there. It was a printed one with a company name on it. And on the underside, there was actually blade marks where they'd actually trimmed the side with a blade and cut through the paint. And that was quite worrying for me, because I thought that, okay, in the near future, if he wants to take all the vinyl off to, for instance, sell the vehicle, it might have cut marks. I don't know that if the company that originally put the vinyl on just wasn't very good, but that's just something maybe to look out for if you ever think about, you know, vinyl wrapping. Just be careful with that blade.
Right, are you ready?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done, aren't we?
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we didn't schedule this and we just kind of popped up.
I think next week we'll try.
Yeah, we'll try. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because I really like chatting to you guys. And well, I don't get to speak to anyone, do I? I kind of sit in the workshop by myself, filming videos for you guys, hopefully to enjoy. And this is the only time I actually get to interact with you, so it's great.
Good night, Chris. Good night, Annette. And John says, great live cast. Hope I can catch next week as well.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you so much
for
we'll
see
all
you
your
next time.
Tips and comments and everything.
Yeah, keep the tips coming in. Just put them on any of the videos. So do read the comments. I'm sorry that I am taking time getting through the comments lately. I have been a bit busy. But I do read and I try and answer every single comment. I did find it fascinating. So yeah, thanks again.
I do some of them.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot.
She does do some of the
The
comments as well.
non-car related
Non-car-related
stuff.
comments.
Yeah.
They go to my lovely other half, and car-related stuff I generally answer. So.
Okay, so we'll say good night
Right,
and
good
good
night or
morning,
good morning,
afternoon,
everyone.
wherever you are.
And we'll see you next time.
Cheers.